the purpose of toxicity. What's the purpose of it? What's the purpose of toxicity? A lot of men sometimes we don't take time to pause and ask ourselves the question: what's the purpose why I'm experiencing this? Yeah. What's the purpose why I'm experiencing this toxic energy? If someone lacks nutrients or minerals, they're gonna eat certain foods, and that will make their body recover from the lack of the thing. Okay? If someone lacks money, they will do a job that would generate them an income, or you could do a business that will give you some money. The purpose of the job or the business is to give you that income. We we can all see that for the most part of what's going on around us, that society is bent on negativity. Society is bent on negativity. They, if you look at what we've been fed on in terms of music, it doesn't matter whether it's rock and roll, even R&B, you know, um, rap. The leading message is never positive. The leading message, the message is not really something that elevates the soul. It's toxic. If you look at the representation of a lot of artists, they don't live lifestyles that are worth emulating. They don't live lifestyles that are worth emulating. They don't live the lifestyle that you could say, okay, that's a good person. But then people try to separate, oh, he's an artist, so it's okay, can behave any type of way. But the point is that he's not a good example of a righteous or wholesome person. Okay? If you start to look at the females, the music is not exactly becoming of a lady or becoming of a good woman. And of course, women follow this stuff and they eat it up whole. And so then it creates this idea that women are this boss chicks, that this independent things. And then they move with that energy. And then when you as a man try to explore dating or relationships, you encounter these toxic ideologies. They may not necessarily translate into I don't need no man, but there's a sense of that which was wholesome and good in terms of feminine is no longer there. So when you lean to the males, you see these athletes doing all kinds of crazy stuff. You see political leaders doing all kinds of things. So then who are you as a man in society when all you're being fed on is toxicity? And Hollywood perpetuates that. The family dynamic is distorted. Before you would have a man and a woman and a child. Now you got two men or two women and so forth. There's a purpose of that toxicity. It rewires your brain towards thinking to normalize things that you know yourself in your heart they're not normal. That's not the standard. If men only married men, we wouldn't have any children. If women married only women, we would not have any children. We would not have a society based on laws. And we already know that women raising children on their own is not exactly a stat that breeds about a healthy environment. So the point I'm trying to make is that the purpose of the toxicity is to move you away from your maker. You innately know what to avoid. Something that I used to always wonder is that why is there so much pornographic materials these days? Back in the day, you had to snoop around and sneak around trying to find this material. You get your VHS tape or you find an old magazine and you hide that. Now, you don't even have to be looking for it. There's a purpose of the toxicity for your brain. Just like if I start to feed your brain, you trying to get, you come to, I run a bakery, you come to my bakery, and instead of me giving you good bread, I'm lacing it with some stuff. That toxicity. I'm lacing it with some porn. I'm lacing it figuratively. I'm lacing it with some, some just, gangster violence. The people that are responsible for these industries, you can make money selling wholesome music if that's the standard, because people will listen to whatever is the standard. You can make money, but the reason why they want people to be focus on the negative is because it moves you away from your creator. So now you're seeing music where a guy is just having sex anyhow, talking about drug dealing, bang, gang banging and shooting, and girls talk about their P is this, their P is that. This is how good the WAP and everything else, and that's all you're getting. Non-wholesome messaging, and it puts you off center. And if you start to indulge in this stuff, it makes you toxic in a sense, toxic to your maker. Your maker looks at you as something filthy. I come from a biblical worldview. When you're saying I believe in the word, or I'm a man of faith, but you have all these toxicities, toxins of pornographic material watching, obsession with explicit material, obsession with explicit language in your head, non-wholesome conversations, non-wholesome conversations. You want to believe that you can differentiate and separate yourself from the materials that you're consuming, but it's in you. You are what you eat, and you eating with your eyes. You're consuming all that stuff. So a lot of men, they're not good people as far as wholesomeness, as far as because they're intaking something toxic on a regular basis. Not to mention that because society pressures us so much, a lot of people have even found themselves in addictions. Addictions. It could be cocaine. I know a lot of brothers be doing on that cocaine. It could be excessive alcohol. It could be excessive weed. Now, when you are addicted to a thing, you're dependent on the thing. You're not going to be up your utmost performance. You're not going to turn up to the word for yourself in a good, healthy way. Not to add people, the hookup culture as well. It's toxic energy targeted to weaken men, because OnlyFans is not exactly benefiting men, is it? You watch it. It's not benefiting men, and women are happy as long as they're getting profit, and then they insult the men that watch this stuff. So this toxic energy moves you away from the center, because now you're stimulated. You got dopamine in your body, in your brain. You got a negative energy. You are angry and you're disappointed and you're non-productive and you're addicted. You move away from your maker. It's hard to pray. It's hard to meditate. It's hard to have a clear thought of mind. It's hard to turn up whole. The things that are good for you, fruit and greens and everything, we don't touch. We're busy eating the fatty things, the pizzas, the burgers, and everything else. Toxicity in everything, from the food to the woman to the music to the films. When you live like this, you're not exactly a good person. You can say, well, I don't kill, I don't do that. The standard of good is not based on you not killing somebody. But you're not, if I gave you a car and you're putting everything but the fuel I recommended, everything but the liquids I suggest as a mechanic, you're not doing that car a service. So if you are a vehicle, and you just allowing toxins to come in, it moves you away from being loved by your maker. Your maker made you, your creator made you, but you're not doing yourself a service unto him. You're living anyhow. But then you're playing into the role of doing the wrong thing. Now, who wants you to be doing the wrong thing? Who wants you to live by the toxic standards? Who was setting up these standards? Who was creating this environment so you're trapped in there like a fly in a spider web? Who now you're caught in there, and you've accepted your low level self, your 2% performing self, not turning out for yourself. You can't even discipline yourself to go for a run, go to the gym, because you're too addicted. That's targeted to you, because that's the outcome they want from you. You just turn up to work, do a little bit, go home, get addicted, porn and everything else. That negative, toxic, and then you jump online, you're being bashed by women. You're not shit. You're not shit. So then you internalize that, you believe that, and you're not the man that you're supposed to be. What man? What type of man are you supposed to be? Well, you can be a wholesome man. You can be a reading man. You can be a trained man. You can be a saving man. Saving money and traveling, not to travel so you can just bang all these hoes. No, but you can learn different cultures. You can learn better ways of doing things. If you're just in the same environment, You're just intellectualizing everything. You just sit there philosophizing. You're not gonna go nowhere. A man can be more wholesome, more intelligent, more wise through sacrifices of purposely fighting against his toxicities. Social media, so that's the devil. You can't you if you just on social media, you're not gonna go without seeing a naked woman. They want you to be that just connected like that. Always, on heat. They want you to be addicted. Obsession with sports. Sports is a good thing, but they want you to be obsessed with it because they profit off you. So then you don't turn up for yourself in this life, and you owe yourself that. It's a journey. It requires discipline, but when you do that, it's well worth the journey. I said enough. Peace, love, and blessings.